wanted to get a little bit more off-grid, if you like. I wanted to be largely self-sufficient.
I have removed the gas ducted heating and installed reverse cycle air conditioners. I've replaced the gas boosted solar hot water system.
That's the savings we've made, but it is roughly, it's over $5,000 on that lot. This is a view of our house with the PVs on the roof, and the battery is right at the back on a south-facing wall. We've got a Volvo that we've had for a few years, and I just got this new little Nissan Leaf. That's our battery, which sits on slate at the bottom and a firewall behind on the south side. 2008 was when we had a solar hot water system. That was our birth. The solar panels, which were actually 16 in 2012, solar hot water, Powerwall, the heat pumps around the house, an induction cooktop, plus one electric car, and now 2 electric cars, can you believe? We get power from the grid still, but by comparison, we consume nearly 8, most of it is solar. We export to the grid 4,600, of which 2,000 is solar. Our core carbon dioxide reduction is about 10 tonnes, which is a major issue for us. This is the driver for us. What can we actually do to lighten our footprint? This is fundamentally why we're doing it. That's the savings we've made. It's over $5,000 on that lot. From the battery, the additional that we make out of savings is about $1,200 per year. You look at that, 44 little outages were recorded, which we didn't know about. If you summarise over all these years the costs, they do add up, and in fact they're much, much cheaper now. We still pay electricity. It's not a high bill, and our gas bill is mostly connection cost, that's what you're paying for. Hardly any usage. And one day we're going to get rid of that, promise.
I went through last year deciding what I wanted to do. I used to have an old solar system which was getting that lovely attractive 66 cent feed-in tariff, but it was small, it was unscalable. Last year I did a lot of my sums and ended up deciding that yes, we wanted to do it. So I started going through the calculations, what size, what type of battery, what brand, and decided on this new Chinese brand called SIG Energy. It's got bi-directional vehicle grid capability and it's stackable. So this is what I've ended up with in my little house just around the corner here. It's a heritage overlay area, so I had to get one of the dreaded Gurundara planning permits, and consequently I've got 3 different arrays facing north, west and south. Up in the corner you've got a picture of my battery, which is an 8 kilowatt inverter and 16 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. I've also got an EV in the driveway, which I charge via a 7 kilowatt charger. My intentions with all of this was to try and be self-sufficient largely throughout the year, and during winter to never pay for peak electricity. This is the tariff plan that I'm on, which gives me free electricity between 11 and 2, which is when I charge the car, I charge the battery, I run the heat pump. Otherwise, I'm largely running off the battery. This tariff also gives me an attractive feed-in tariff when the grid needs it the most. I get 15 cents. It allows me to charge for free during the day. I've got a big solar system, but this time of the year, the big solar system just doesn't keep up with demand. But through summer and spring, it certainly does. I thought I'd just give you an indication. I was generating 12 kilowatts on the roof. I was charging the EV and the battery from the grid. This is the actual daily energy usage going from solar, charging the battery, self-consumption and being exported to the grid. The battery, once it's full, is going into the household but also exporting into the grid. But here you can see this is where I'm charging my battery for free, which I'm absolutely loving. I'm pretty damn happy. I've only got to get rid of my gas ducted system, which is scheduled for happening next year.
I've got a bit of a different story. My first move was to install rooftop solar in early 2018. This move reduced my grid consumption and bills, and the payback period was very short. I then got a little bit carried away and I added an Alpha ESS battery without much thought, and initially charged the battery during the day and drew on that battery in the evening, which worked. But I found that in the winter I wasn't getting enough solar generation and I was drawing on the grid a lot. My next move was to look at solar saver tariffs. They really worked. I found I could charge my battery for free with over energy between 11 and 2, and this meant that I only exceeded my stored energy on a few occasions every year. I found that the controls on the Alpha ESS did allow me to specify when I could load from the grid, but not when I could feed back. I decided to look elsewhere. Did I give Amber a fair go? I don't know. I will look at them again. And 2 years after my battery installation, I paid extra to have backup during outages. I found out that I did want it, and it would have been much cheaper if I'd made the decision earlier. Everything was all right, except that I moved home 2 months ago. My new home has gas ducted heating, solar hot water boosted by gas, and an integrated gas oven and cooktop. So I'd gone completely the other way. I have removed the gas ducted heating and installed reverse cycle air conditioners. Very nice grants. Replaced the gas boosted solar hot water system with a new heat pump hot water. And then, trying to be clever, I replaced the fuse box. But that identified a fault in the oven and I had to replace that. So I'm now all electric. So, going to solar and battery. My new home has limited roof space. I'm installing solar panels because the old panels were installed a long time ago. And I'm installing a large battery, probably larger than I need. At this stage I'm not sure, but I can't think what I'm going to do with all the power. But the additional cost was very low with the federal rebate meeting most of it. I will be looking at ways to manage the battery either by joining a BPP, by joining a retailer like Amber, or with self-management. But before I join any of these organisations, I'd like to see the benefits that they deliver to customers. I foresee a significant amount of further change coming because I think the tariffs are all going to be all over the place in the coming years. And finally, I'd like to thank the federal and state governments for their financial contributions to my electric commission.